As we all know that exchange rates are determined by the demand and supply of domestic currency with respect to the foreign currency in the foreign exchange market. This demand and supply of foreign exchange in turn depends on many factors. The major one is the return that an individual gets on the securities. In other words, the comparison of the interest rates on securities denominated in domestic currency vis-a-vis the interest rates on the securities denominated in the foreign currency determine how much foreign currency an individual wants to hold. Thus, we can say that exchange rates are determined by the differences in the domestic and the world interest rate. Exchange rates are also determined by the expectations about the future. These expectations are in turn dependent upon the monetary policy of a country. Monetary policy has an effect on both the interest rate and on the general price level or inflation. Thus, in this module, we are going to study the link between exchange rate, interest rate, inflation and money supply. In this module, we will study the concepts of law of one price, purchasing power parity, interest parity condition, both covered and uncovered, relation between expected exchange rates and interest rates, and inflation and the Fisher's effect.
After studying this module, you shall be able to learn the concept of law of one price, understand how exchange rate changes, inflation differentials and interest rate changes between two countries are related to each other, know the concept of purchasing power parity, interest parity condition and Fisher effect. Let us first discuss the law of one price. The law of one price states that in competitive markets, free of transportation cost and official barriers of trade, identical goods sold in different countries must sell for the same price when their prices are expressed in terms of the same currency. This means that if prices are flexible and markets are competitive, then free trade and arbitrage ensures that the identical commodities must be sold at the same price in different currencies or countries. For instance, if the price of an air cooler in India is rupees 1000 and rupees per dollar exchange rate is rupees 50 per dollar, then the price of an identical air cooler, identical in all respects, shape, size, color, quality and other attributes in United States must be $20 given by rupees 1000 multiplied by the exchange rate of rupees 50 per dollar. Thus, this proposition provides a link between domestic prices and foreign prices or the world prices. Writing it in equation form, it means P1 to the power I is equals to E rupees per dollar into P US to the power I, where P1 to the power I is equals to price of goods I in India. P US to the power I is the price of good I in United States, and E rupees per dollar is equals to exchange rate between rupees and dollar. If in the above equation P1 to the power I is greater than E rupees per dollar into P US to the power I, this means that the price of good I in India is more. Hence, there is arbitrage opportunity. Trade will take place and good I will be purchased in US and sold in India. This will increase the supply of good I in India and demand in US, thus equalizing the price in two countries. Now we move on to discuss the purchasing power parity. The theory states that the price of a basket of commodities sold in one country is equalized to the price of the same basket of commodities in another country. In simple terms, it is an extension of the concept of law of one price. The law of one price applies to one commodity, while purchasing power parity applies to a basket of commodities. This theory ascertains that exchange rate movements primarily happen because of the differences in the power of purchasing domestic goods in terms of foreign goods. Mathematically, writing it in equation form, we get P1 P1 is equals to E rupees per dollar into P US, where P1 is the price level in India, P US is the price level in United States, and E rupees per dollar is the exchange rate between rupee and dollar. The above equation can be written as E rupees per dollar is equals to P1 by P US. Thus, this theory stresses on the fact that all countries' price levels are equal when measured in terms of same currency. Writing in equation form, relative purchasing power parity means E rupees per dollar, comma T minus E rupees per dollar, comma T minus 1 divided by E rupees per dollar, comma T minus 1 is equals to bracket P1, comma T minus P1, comma T minus 1 by P1, comma T minus 1 divided by bracket P US, comma T minus P US, comma T minus 1 bracket divided by P US, comma T minus 1 bracket close. Or, in other words, this can be expressed as follows: E rupees per dollar, comma T minus E rupees per dollar, comma T minus 1 divided by E rupees per dollar, comma T minus 1 is equals to pi 1, comma T minus pi US, comma T, where pi denotes the inflation level. The foreign exchange market attains equilibrium when the expected rate of return offered on the deposits of all currencies is equalized. The condition that the expected returns on deposits of any two currencies are equal when measured in same currency is called the interest parity condition. This means that an individual considers all the securities denominated is whatever currency are as described to hold. Writing it in a mathematical equation form, we have R1 is equals to RUS plus E rupees per dollar to the power small e minus E rupees per dollar divided by E rupees per dollar, where R1 is interest rate of Indian securities, RUS is interest rate of US securities, E rupees per dollar is rupee to dollar exchange rate, and E rupees per dollar to the power small e is equals to expected exchange rate between rupee and dollar. However, note that interest parity condition holds only when economic agents are risk neutral. If they are not, then even if the expected rate of return are equalized across deposits denominated in domestic currency vis-a-vis foreign currency, agents will still prefer one currency deposits over the other. While purchasing a security denominated in the currency of a foreign country, an individual knows the interest rate that he will get, but he is not sure about the exchange rate that will prevail at the time of maturity. Thus, his return is guided by his expectations above the future exchange rate changes. Thus, expected exchange rates appear in the above equation. Foreign exchange market will be in equilibrium if the above condition holds true. If somehow return on Indian security is greater than US security, then at the given rupee dollar exchange rate, demand for Indian securities will be higher than the US securities. This will make the Indian rupee to appreciate and dollar to depreciate, such that the expected returns on the two currencies are equalized. Note that the interest rates on the securities of each country's securities are determined by their respective monetary policies. It is the expected changes in the exchange rates that are determined in the foreign exchange market which ensures that the interest parity condition holds in the equilibrium. An implication of this is that current exchange rate changes predict the expected exchange rates. Note that in real world, individuals may not be immune to exchange rate risk. The securities are purchased today while they are matured at some later point in time. Thus, individuals are subject to the risk of exchange rate changes. Replacing the expected exchange rate with the forward exchange rate covers the individual with this risk. Since forward exchange rate is already decided in the contract, individual is covered for exchange rate risk. Thus, covered interest parity condition assumes that expected exchange rate is equals to the forward exchange rate, or E rupees per dollar to the power small e is equals to F rupees per dollar, where F rupees per dollar is equals to forward rupee dollar exchange rate. Thus, the covered interest parity condition becomes R1 is equals to RUS plus F rupees per dollar minus E rupees per dollar divided by E rupees per dollar. Thus, the uncovered interest parity condition states that the interest rate on rupee deposits equals the interest rate on dollar deposits plus the forward premium on dollar against rupee. Consider equation of relative purchasing power parity given as E rupees per dollar, t minus E rupees per dollar, t minus 1 divided by E rupees per dollar, t minus 1 is equals to pi 1, t minus pi US, t. Rather than considering the relative purchasing power parity over time, if it is written in expectation terms, it will give expected version of relative purchasing power parity given as E rupees per dollar to the power small e minus E rupees per dollar divided by E rupees per dollar is equals to pi 1 to the power small e minus pi US to the power small e, where pi to the power small e is the expected inflation. The long run relationship between inflation rate and exchange rate is called the Fisher effect. It states that all else equal, a rise in country's expected inflation rate will eventually cause an equal rise in the interest rate that deposits of its currency offer. Similarly, a fall in the expected inflation rate will eventually cause a fall in the interest rate. Writing it in equation form yields R1 minus RUS is equals to pi 1 to the power small e minus pi US to the power small e, where pi 1 to the power small e is equals to expected inflation rate in India and pi US to the power small e represents expected inflation rate in US. Note that Fisher effect holds true if both relative purchasing power parity and interest parity condition hold true. Thus, in equilibrium, in the long run, interest rate differentials between any two countries will be equals to the expected inflation differentials, which in turn will be equal to the expected exchange rate differentials. Note that this will hold true in the long run. Interest rates are determined by the equilibrium in the money market. Any changes in the money supply will change the interest rate. In the long run, however, prices are flexible, leading to changes in the inflation rate and hence the exchange rate. Thus, there will be no change in the interest rate, but there will be changes in the interest rate differential between two countries as given by the expected differences in the inflation rate or the exchange rate. Monetary approach to determination of exchange rates, inflation and interest rate is a theory that operates in the long run. In the long run, economy is operating at the full employment level. Prices are fully flexible. Any changes in the money supply which departs the economy from full employment level will eventually be counterbalanced by the changes in the price level and the exchange rates to ensure purchasing power parity and interest parity condition are maintained. For instance, consider the example of Indian economy vis-a-vis US economy. Money market equilibrium in the Indian economy occurs when money demand equals real money balances, or M by P1 is equals to L, which is a function of y1 to the power small f, comma I1. Similarly, money market equilibrium occurs in US economy where US money demand equals real money supply in US, or where the following equation holds true. M by P US is equals to L, which is a function of y us to the power small f, comma I us, where M is the nominal money supply, P is the price level, and y to the power small f is the full employment level of output. According to purchasing power parity, rupee dollar exchange rate is the ratio of the price level in India to US price level. Thus, from equations we get that the rupee dollar exchange rate is determined by the money supplies in the two countries, level of output, price level, and the interest rates on the securities of two countries. Monetary approach thus states that the exchange rate is fully determined in the long run by the relative supplies of those monies and the relative real demand for them. Shifts in interest rate and output levels affect the exchange rate only through their influence on the money demand. According to the monetary approach to the determination of exchange rates, inflation rates, and interest rates, all else equal, a permanent increase in nominal money supply in long run leads to the proportional increase in the price level and hence the inflation in the economy. Moreover, an increase in the nominal money supply will increase the nominal interest rate on the country's deposit. As a result, and according to purchasing power parity condition, it will lead to a depreciation of currency with respect to the currency of other country.
Let us now summarize what we have studied in this module. The law of one price ensures that if prices are flexible and markets are competitive, then free trade and arbitrage ensures that the same commodity must be sold at the same price in different currencies. Purchasing power parity theory ensures that the exchange rate between two countries' currencies equals the ratio of the country's price level. Relative purchasing power theory ensures that the percentage change in the exchange rate between two countries over any period equals to the difference between the percentage changes in the natural price level. Interest parity condition ensures that the expected returns on deposits of any two currencies are equal when measured in the same currency. Fisher's effect gives the relationship between expected exchange rate changes and expected inflation differentials. Exchange rate changes, inflation differentials, and nominal interest rate changes between any two countries are related through purchasing power parity condition, interest parity condition, and Fisher's effect.